Hey, where did that go? What are you talking about? Well, when these conversations started happening on a daily basis, and I wondered what was going on. My husband was demoted because he seems to be making more mistakes at work. He wasn't very enthusiastic about his job to begin with, so he didn't seem too shocked about the demotion. However, his forgetfulness increased. Out of concern, he went to the hospital. I suspected he might be suffering from depression, but the diagnosis was surprising. Early onset Alzheimer's. In simple terms, it's dementia. I heard that it can occur among young people these days, but I never imagined it would be my own husband. I was in shock. My name is Emily Johnston. 5 years have passed since then, and I'm now 50, while my husband, Tom, is 54. We were not blessed with children, and I've been working all these years. My parents have already passed away, but Tom's parents are still alive and live in the countryside, a bit away from where we reside. My in-laws are very kind-hearted. When Tom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, they suggested, "We can take Tom in. It might be best for you to get a divorce." However, Tom, who never liked living in the countryside, formally declined their offer. I also didn't immediately consider divorce due to Tom's illness. We have been together for nearly 20 years, not necessarily in sickness and in health, but by fate we have become husband and wife. I thought it wouldn't be right to say, "Okay, goodbye," just because he became ill. Although Tom has become more forgetful, it's not to the extent that he can't handle daily life. Whether the medication to slow the disease's progression is working or not, it's not so severe that he can't do anything, and he still recognizes me properly. Occasionally, he doesn't respond, but when he's acting normally, he's not much different from any healthy person. However, when asked about things, he often says, "I don't know," or "I don't remember." At work, his mistakes increased, and there were times when he cried because he couldn't understand how to organize documents. Maybe I should quit my job. If I do, you support me, right? I'm able to say no to my husband, who looked so anxious. He eventually quit his job. He doesn't go outside and spend most of his time at home, but when he's inside, I don't see any particularly problematic behavior. He often leaves things out without putting them away, or when I return home, I find food scattered around, but he isn't causing trouble for others, so it's within an acceptable range. So, Tom has been staying at home ever since he quit his job. When I consulted with the doctor about whether we should have someone look after him while I'm at work, they say he still has the ability to sense danger, so there isn't much to worry about at this stage. They suggested we discuss further if the disease progresses. For now, they advise locking the door when going out and making sure it understands not to go outside alone. Although I was still slightly worried about whether that approach would really be fine. He kept on repeating, "It's okay even if he's alone." However, if I insisted too much, he would sometimes lose his temper. "Stop it. I'm sick, okay? Don't bother me with unnecessary things. It just makes my head even more confused. Be more considerate of me." And then he would act out. When he got like that, it became hard to deal with, so I began to leave him alone. 5 years before, Tom's condition was discovered when I was 40. I was promoted to section chief. My salary had increased, so even after Tom quit his job, we didn't face any immediate financial difficulties. Since we didn't have children, we managed to save a decent amount of money, ensuring we wouldn't be caught off guard in emergencies. And the savings remained untouched. I truly felt grateful for having continued to work. I can only hope that our normal lifestyle continues for as long as possible. However, something had started to bother me recently. Things keep going missing. What's missing are often things of value. My cherished designer bags, newly purchased shoes, clothes. These are items I've bought as treats for myself after saving up. I wonder if I've just misplaced them somewhere unusual, but I can't find them no matter how much I search. When I ask Tom, he only says he doesn't know. Hey, do you remember taking them somewhere or using them? I don't know. I can't remember. He just repeats those words. Could it be that his condition has progressed to the point where he doesn't even remember taking things? These days, when I return from work and ask him what he did during the day, more often than not, he said he can't recall. The doctor had said that the progression of the symptoms can be slow at times and rapid at others. I couldn't help but feel that his condition might be advancing faster. If that's the case, I'm concerned about leaving him alone at home while I'm away. If he starts to wander, I won't be able to care for him on my own. Out of concern for Tom, I secretly installed surveillance cameras around the house. It wouldn't be acceptable if he wandered and caused trouble for others. If that were the case, appropriate measures would be necessary. A week later, after Tom had gone to sleep, I nervously reviewed the camera footage. But what I saw surpassed all my expectations, leaving me in shock. I never imagined it would be something like this. Tom had brought a woman into our home. Over the past 5 years, Tom and I had barely held any proper conversations. He'd always responded vaguely to my questions, but in the video, he was conversing normally without any hindrance. He didn't seem like someone suffering from dementia at all. And when I saw the face of the woman he brought in, I was even more stunned. It was the female doctor who had diagnosed Tom with dementia. Come to think of it, the hospital we visited was the one handling the medical checkups for Tom's company. Does this mean that the husband and this woman doctor are doing psyche play? Was the dementia diagnosis nothing but a blatant lie? Are you sure she hasn't noticed at all? Not at all. Dementia is such a convenient illness to fake. I don't have to work. And if there is something I don't want to remember, I just say, I forgot. You're such a bad man, making your wife work while you relax at home and even bringing your lover over. Wasn't it you who suggested this? When I said I was tired of working and wanted to quit my job, you mentioned there was a good way out. I never thought it would work out this well though. The video showed the female doctor laughing and closing her leg next to Tom. My wife is just too tricky. I don't know if she became a section chief or what, but her salary keeps rising above mine. I'm sure she looks down on me. But thanks to her, you get to live like this, don't you? Well, yeah, she's like my ATM. I need her to keep working hard for me. You said she was like a housekeeper the other day. A housekeeper who's also my ATM. I finally understood what it means to feel completely blank inside. The words coming from the screen kept swirling in my head over and over again. Oh, and you need to cut back a bit on taking things out of the house. My wife says things are missing. You can just say you took them and forgot about it. With your condition, saying you forgot will always work. Well, you're right. There is no other illness as convenient as this. I won't have to work for the rest of my life with this excuse. So, that was what was happening. What was I, who never adopted and wanted to support him? For 5 long years, I worked diligently without knowing anything, doing all the housework. I wondered what I had been striving for. I felt foolish, and it felt as if all the strength was draining from my body. For some reason, laughter bubbled up unexpectedly. I thought maybe I had gone mad. A mix of anger, sadness, regret, and despair overwhelmed me. But the despair didn't end there. I checked my bank balance, and it was 0. All the fixed deposits that we had been saving since our marriage were withdrawn. I felt a loss so profound it seemed like the end of the world. I felt numb, devoid of any emotion. As dawn broke, my husband woke up, acting as if nothing had happened. The moment I saw him, a rage so intense it felt as if my gut were boiling overfilled the void inside me. What's for breakfast? I was overcome with an urge to grab him by the collar and relate him, but I swallowed that impulse and headed in. My husband still doesn't know that I'm aware of the truth. Merely confronting him with the truth and getting an apology won't be enough. However, I genuinely don't know what to do or how to proceed. But I thought, if I just got angry now, him laughing it off with "So, you found out, huh?" would be totally intolerable. What are you planning to do today? Why this sudden question? You don't usually ask that. I've been wondering what you do at home every day. I wish I could walk like you, but with my condition, I don't want to be a burden to others. I envy you being able to work. I was astonished that he could utter such insincere words so effortlessly. Of course, there is the obvious fact of cheating, which can be used as a shield to claim alimony and divorce. But when I thought about the last 5 years, I was so frustrated and disappointed that I burst into tears. Someone capable of doing such things might just casually dismiss everything with, "I was just joking." Then he'd probably come up with irrational explanation and desperately try to defend himself. Days went by as I pondered what to do. Just seeing my husband's face made me feel nauseous, but I endured it. The camera remained installed. Thinking I was unaware, my husband continued to bring the female doctor into our house whenever I was out. Hey, did someone visit today? I feel like I smell a different person's scent. I'm not sure. Maybe someone did. Perhaps it was a salesperson. How are you feeling these days? You seem more energetic. Are you perhaps recovering? Not at all. Even I've noticed that I've become more forgetful lately. Once the symptoms start, it can't be cured, only slow down. The doctor said that, remember? Right, I remember. The female doctor was quite beautiful, wasn't she? Was she? I can't recall her face. In a way, I admire how he can maintain this act for so long. Out of desperation, and without telling my husband, I took the record footage to his parents. They've always been kind to me, but they are still his parents. I can't say I wasn't anxious. They might still side with their son, no matter what he's done. They might even suggest that it's because I, as his wife, am not good enough. They might say that by not understanding my husband's feelings of not wanting to go to the office to the extent of lying, I failed as a wife. Yet, I had no one else to talk to. If they blamed me, I decided I would just silently resign myself to divorce. I'm sorry to come so suddenly, father-in-law, mother-in-law. I have something I need to discuss. Oh dear, what happened? You look so worn out. What's going on? Mother-in-law, it's just... First, come inside. Are you hungry? Let me make something warm for you. I felt like bursting into tears at her words. My worries were unfounded. After seeing the footage of my husband and the female doctor's affair, my in-laws apologized to me on the spot. I'm so sorry for our foolish son. Emily, we are truly sorry. Far from blaming me, seeing my in-laws crying and apologizing so deeply made me feel like crying myself. The tension I had been feeling seemed to vanish in an instant. That being said, my anger towards my husband didn't disappear. But the realization that I had someone on my side made me truly happy from the bottom of my heart. There was another piece of good news. I had been unofficially informed of my promotion to department head. Knowing that there is a place where my hard work is recognized was the greatest joy of all. It reaffirmed that I truly belonged somewhere. Hey, Emily? Emily, are you listening? Huh? Oh, sorry, I was spacing out. While thinking of how to get back at my husband, I had become lost in thought. You are not getting Stanola on me, are you? It wouldn't be a joke if both of us ended up that way. At the moment, an idea struck me. If I were to become Stanola, would you take care of me? Don't be ridiculous. I have enough on my plate with myself. There is no way I can take care of you too. But you haven't gotten much worse even after 5 years. Maybe you'll recover completely? If that happens, you can work again. At that time, I'll be counting on you to take care of me. Upon hearing this, Tom stared at me with wide eyes. From that day on, I began to casually repeat things he had once said it to me, little by little, every day, to make it seem more real. Hey, what was I just doing? I've been making a lot of mistakes at work lately. It seems I've become quite forgetful. Oh, I've forgotten how to use that washing machine. Huh? How do you use oven again? My action and words made Tom increasingly uneasy. I might not be able to continue working, but I'm glad you're here with me. After continuing this act for about 2 months, one day when I returned from work, there was a filled-out divorce form. It seemed Tom had left the house. He was even kind enough to leave a note. I've decided to divorce because I don't want to cause any more trouble for you. Please don't look for me, Tom. What does he mean he doesn't want to cause trouble? I know he ran away thinking I might have dementia. I also know exactly where he went after leaving. He rented an apartment to continue his relationship with the female doctor. I had evidence from the hidden camera where he was exposed. He was laughing while saying, "She seems a bit off, so I'm going to divorce her." It would be ridiculous if I ended up having to take care of her. I've already transferred the saving elsewhere. I won't have any financial trouble for a while. He even graciously told me all about the location of his new apartment. I got a rough idea of where the female doctor lived from their conversation, so I went near her once. The female doctor was a married woman, living in a single house in the suburbs with her family. I promptly filled the divorce papers and sent a bill for the division of property and evidence of infidelity to the apartment Tom had recently rented. Of course, I also sent the female doctor the evidence of infidelity. I received a phone call immediately from my husband, who appeared to have received them. What the hell is this? What is the evidence of infidelity? Well, it's the evidence of infidelity. Of course. What? Oh, right. I also sent one to the female doctor. I wonder if her husband has found out by now and they're having a fight? Evidence of infidelity is the footage captured by the hidden cameras. I thought her husband had a right to know. Oh, why did you do that? I was so surprised to find out that everything was a lie. Weren't you supposed to be going too crazy? Oh, the act? It was just a performance. I tried to mimic you. It's surprisingly easy to deceive, isn't it? You are... Tom, ignoring his own actions, started shouting at me. He called me cunning, dirty, and all sorts of things. He just ranted on. Do you think you have the right to be angry at me? Living off my earning alone while pretending to have dementia for 5 years. Even bringing a woman into our home. Do you think you'll be forgiven? Tom probably never dreamed that I knew everything. He suddenly became flustered. But what's this about dividing property? I don't have any asset. We have our saving, don't we? I've already used all of it. There is not a single yen left. I thought he's still playing dumb even now. I revealed that I had set up cameras in the house. I told him I heard everything he said to the female doctor, and I have all the footage as evidence. Solid proof. When I told him that even my in-laws knew about this and were furious, Tom defiantly shouted back, questioning why I do tell them. It seemed he doesn't realize he's not in a position to shout at me right now. Thank you for talking so freely about everything. I didn't even need to hire a detective agency, so I saved some unnecessary expenses. When I say that, Tom, for once, seemed lost of words. He was silent for a while, so I hung up the phone. The following month, he contacted me again. What the hell is going on? What do you mean? I just went to the apartment and they say you had already canceled an apartment contract. Which apartment are you talking about? The one we lived in, obviously. I never imagined he would return, especially since he was the one who left the divorce paper and left. When I told him that I had canceled an apartment contract soon after he left, he started to lose his temper, questioning why I made such a decision without informing him. The apartment had been in my name since my unemployed husband couldn't be the lessee. When he quit his job, the contract was transferred to my name. So whether I decided to cancel the contract or move somewhere else, it was entirely up to me. I bought a condo. I live there now. You bought now? I bought it with the saving I got back from my share of the property. It's a small condo, but it's my castle. Really? Then I'll come live there too. I wonder what kind of thought process led him to the conclusion. Don't you have a girlfriend? We broke up. She got caught cheating, got divorced, was shunned at the hospital, made a misdiagnosis, got sued by a patient, and she was asked for the division of property by her ex-husband. Now, she's drawing in debt. Oh, really? So, I've decided to get back together with you. So, I'm going to start over with you, and you're going to give me back the money we split, right? This is what you call unbearable. Is he seriously thinking I would accept such a proposal? He even asks me to get back together with him and return to him the money that was divided between us in the property division. I feel like telling him he's lost his mind. Are you insane? Why should I have to pay? We are already divorced. I never want to see your face again. Reconciliation? Not even in the afterlife. With that, I hung up the phone and blocked his number. It seems that my ex-husband, Tom, went to visit his parents after our conversation. At that time, Tom didn't know that his parents had sold their family home and moved to a senior-specific apartment. According to his parents, Tom went to the family home, so it was up for sale, and was so shocked that he reached out to them. I had a lawyer involved to ensure I received all the division of property money. So, Tom probably doesn't have much money left. Tom hasn't been able to find a new job, and he can't even pay his apartment rent anymore. He was evicted, had nowhere to go, and probably turned to his parents' place for help. His parents anticipated this. and decided to move. They feared that if he returned and entered their home, they might not be able to evict him. They said they couldn't face me if that happened. He is now working as a live-in worker at the factory somewhere, but he is so lazy that he can't move as much as he'd like, and he is yelled at every day by employees much younger than himself. It seems that Tom reached out to his parents several times, asking for help, but they refused him. Months have passed since the divorce, but I still keep in touch with his parents. They always worry about me, and to me, they feel like my real parents. I want to maintain our good relationship and help them out whenever they need it in the future. I was promoted to department head, and my salary has increased. I plan to keep working hard. Currently, I'm thoroughly enjoying my peaceful life on my own.